What is up, friends? My gosh. Oh, so stupidly late. Yeah, sorry. A lot of preparation today. Oh, my gosh. Okay. Hey, I'm doing the show with Ben this week again on Patreon. Check it out at patreon.com/Eric Zane. Getting back together with Ben has been fantastic so far. So hope if you enjoyed our time together on 107.3 WBBL, we'd love to have you back and enjoy our show together. We post the first handful of minutes via our social media, and then also I'll post the first handful of minutes. You can get a little taste of it. And then if you want in, go to patreon.com/Eric saying thank you. Got a car repair place that is Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid. Their number is 616-532-6600. Get your car repaired at Irvine's. They're along 44th Street in West Michigan, as most of my sponsors are. Just a few blocks east of US 131. Call them at 616-532-6600. And please mention the Eric Zane Show podcast. Thank you to Irvine's. Brand new sponsor on the show. That's their sign right there. Forever Lawn, West Michigan. You're like, oh, man, Zane, why the hell would you put a new sponsor on who's trying to get your grass more green? No, that's not what it is. This is premium synthetic grass. foreverlawn.com/WMI. Forever Lawn is a national organization, national business that installs synthetic grass. And there is a local distributor installer here in West Michigan. And this is like they install for both residential and commercial. So if you need any type of synthetic grass in any business, could be like a dog kennel, doggy daycare, playground, school, whatever it may be, or in your home, believe it or not, people are actually putting synthetic grass on their homes. It's guaranteed for 15 years. And it's absolutely great. You need to check this out. Go to foreverlawn.com/WMI for more information, or just call up John at 616-258-6450. Forever Lawn, West Michigan. Thank you for signing up and being on board with this show. And then last but not least, Baldwin Ace Hardware, helping bring the live stream to you. Up north in the Manistee National Forest, right there in Baldwin, Michigan. If you have any DIY projects as you're going up for deer camp, don't forget about Baldwin Ace Hardware. In a pinch, they have everything you need right there. Baldwin Ace Hardware. Check them out. Say hi to the Gilmurrays, Mike and Jennifer. All right?
Will you shut up, man? Listen.
Hey everyone, Kenny from Nashville here, and after a long day of listening to some crappy death metal, I like to unwind with the Eric Zane Show podcast. Yeah. Here's your host, Eric Zane.
Hey, Kenny! Appreciate you, man. Thank you very much to you for checking out the show. As you know, this is a daily podcast where I discuss news, nonsense, and my personal adventures each and every day of the week. Thank you very much. Thanks to the Zaniacs for supporting. Thanks to new people that might be listening. And on and on. I do the show live every day. 3 live streams. Facebook brought to you by Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid. YouTube brought to you by F45 Training Byron Center, and Periscope Video on Twitter brought to you by Blue Frost IT. Yeah, it's one of the first things you notice about my show is that it's sponsor heavy. And some other people notice that too. I'll get to that in a second, that it's sponsor heavy. Psst, I'm not doing this because it's like for free, okay? I'm trying to earn a living. Psst, just a secret. Might want to try that yourself. Okay, so anyway, this is what I have coming up on the show today. There is a whole bunch to discuss. My God. Diana, my wife, is losing her mind after, well, the worst possible thing happened to her over the weekend. You'll be able to figure this out But imagine if you have a horrible drug habit and suddenly someone takes away your drugs. They have an intervention and they go and they take all of your drugs. You can no longer do cocaine or heroin. Imagine what that would do to a person. We are experiencing that right now. Diana is not addicted to any chemicals, but honestly, she might have been better off if she was addicted to crack cocaine. Seriously, this is ridiculous. I'll talk about that. I need to unpack a little further the plot to kidnap and murder Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer a little bit further on. I'll do that. Dak Prescott. Oh, man, he broke one of his sticks. Oh, all right. It has been way too... I knew it. As soon as we would start getting back to sports, we would start to... it makes sense. Every year we kind of pay attention to who breaks a limb in a horrible way. And we didn't really have a lot of entries this year. We had Joel Embiid early in the basketball season when his one finger went all muppety, flippity, crackety. And then you had that weightlifter who was hard and fast, number one, who both of his legs broke in half. That was in the middle of the summer. And then just yesterday, we have a brand new addition. Dak Prescott breaks one of his sticks. Actually, technically, it was his ankle. My God, there's so much about that is wrong. We'll get into that. Other sports things to talk about. LeBron and the Lakers are sky high after last night. And also over the weekend, well, kind of over the weekend. I guess it was Thursday night. I wasn't here Friday, so I couldn't talk about it. Tom Brady. Fuck. Man, what Tom Brady did Thursday on Thursday Night Football against the Bears is, it's kind of like a message to all of us that even the most brilliant of performers just make big boneheaded fuck-ups. That happens from time to time. So, we can all learn from that and give ourselves a break. I'll discuss that in a bit. And I'm going to introduce you to the latest random struggling person that has gotten famous because of their personality and the internet. And I just love this story. Nathan Apodaca is his name. This dude, he's just a fucking regular guy who works a low-wage job somewhere in America, and he did something fun online, and his whole life is turned upside down in an amazing way. I just hope and pray that it doesn't get fucked up. How often do you hear about these people who get internet famous and great things can happen to them, and then it just blows up in their face? All right. But first, update you on my mom. Y'all are very concerned about that, I know, because you follow me and you support me and you care about me and you care about my family, and I love that. So thank you very much. Mom is, she's a strong lady. There's no question. She's got these things called comorbidities, which makes you, you're in the crosshairs of COVID when you get it. And if you don't know, that's what she's dealing with right now. But she had a better day going into the weekend, talking to people on the phone, and that's, you got to be careful. You don't want to talk to these people. You don't want to talk to a person like my mother for too long, because talking means you're breathing. When you're breathing, it sometimes can be stressful, especially when you're in the spot that she is in right now. It just takes a lot of energy. So, but my brother said that he was able to have a reasonably normal conversation, which is better than what he was able to do before. And he got some answers, because this hospital has been a little bit difficult dealing with these people. I don't know what the deal is on that, but my brother detailed that they were able to get a few more answers about her. They're still trying to determine. They think that there might be some other things that are making her have the struggles that she's having. Not so much COVID related. It could be blood clots or something like that. But this is tough, and we're just trying to navigate it the best we can and let the doctors do their thing and pray and take care of my mom. Wally is strong as hell. God, is this guy a beast? I mean, this is, I think, a great example. You have a person like my mother who's, there's certain things that can make COVID like, oh, yeah, we got a good one here. And then COVID attacks Wally, and Wally's like, I got this. He's strong as shit. Doesn't always work out that way, of course, but usually that's how it manifests and unfolds. So you have these two people. Wally is, in fact, as of today, free to head back out into the old folks' home and play shuffleboard and shit like that. But my mom is still in rough shape, and but she's not on a ventilator or anything like that. So I really appreciate that. I wanted to update you on that. I know you guys care because we've kind of been constantly updating you on this. I didn't want you to think that if I ignored it, you're like, oh shit, what the fuck is wrong with Zane's mom? So that's the update. Okay. Also included in this open, I wanted to get right to it. This show was featured on Who Are These Podcasts? Now, let me just say for a lot of you folks, you have never heard the show. You've heard me, of course, because you follow me, but you haven't heard them. So, and I say this about anything, and I say this about my show, too. I'll give you this about their show. First of all, this is a roast. You need to understand that this is, they're not professional roasters. But, when you see a roast on TV and you see them blow up like Rob Lowe or whoever, they're fucking mean, okay? That's how it goes on a roast. So that's what you're getting here, okay? And it is an acquired taste, and if you don't really, and the reason why I was drawn to this show is because it's kind of like some inside radio stuff from time to time, and I'm really drawn to that, and I like it. So there you go. If that's for you, great. But I mean, if I introduce the show to you, it's a mixed bag of people that are checking it out. So a lot of the stuff you might be like, what the fuck was that? How do I don't get it. Yeah, I guess it's a little bit of to each his own. But I like the show. I always have. So, just to recap, when I found out that they were featuring this podcast, I was like, oh my God, no. Because my show is ripe to get the shit beat out of it. Because like their show is an acquired taste, if you're someone new who's never heard of me before, you're going to like, what the fuck is this? And I realized that. And one of the things they pointed out when they were discussing me about how it is that I do what I do, they're like, if it hadn't been for his radio audience, the people that were listening to his that are listening to his podcast now, I doubt this would take off. Yes, exactly. Of course. First of all, not making it up. There's millions of podcasts to listen to. So anybody who starts out from scratch, like their show, to their credit, and is able to build an audience, that is fucking saying something. There's no question. But it's not like that. So who gives a fuck? I'm here doing it with the audience that I've built from years of doing radio stuff, and I try to be as entertaining and engaging as I can, and I'll do this for as long as I can. One of the things they also said, because it was Carl, who's the main guy, and he brings in other people to talk about shows with him, and it's one of the favorites is this dude named Andy, he actually said, he goes, it's like he's a local show on a national platform. Correct. Yes, you did it. That's exactly what this is. And if anybody else comes along for the ride, whatever, I sit here and I talk about what I want to talk about, and it seems to work. I seem to be doing okay. I'm happy. I enjoy it. My sponsors seem to enjoy it. And then the other thing I knew that they were going to park on was the sponsors. Oh my God, holy shit, there's too many sponsors. Everything is sponsored. His dogs are sponsored. His room is sponsored. His streams are sponsored. That's called a job. That's what I do. If you fucking morons would stop playing slap and tickle all the fucking time and busted your ass selling your thing, you might not have to have another job, you fucking Neanderthal. My God. What the fuck? Oh, fuck Zane. He's making money. Again, totally busting your balls. They're probably enjoying this. Maybe not. But I will say this. Carl is going to be on the show tomorrow with me right here. Okay, so at 8:30 my time, Carl's going to call in. So I'm stoked about that. I actually have a ton of questions that I have for Carl about how he got his show started, which I really like the show. And you need to go to whoarethese.com, and I'll link it up for you to check it out or wherever you download podcasts and listen to the Eric Zane Show podcast beat up session. Frankly, there is a lot of what they said that I couldn't agree more with them about. And it's sometimes I catch myself doing it, and I know as soon as I do it, you've even heard me talk about it. When I start to do things like read comments, to me, kiss of death on any podcast is reading comments. Now, it's a little different on Patreon because we have a smaller select group, and you bust my balls on Patreon. So, but for the live podcast or for the free podcast, when I'm putting it out there for whoever to see, I totally get that. And they were like, "Oh man, he's fucking reading the comments," and that can be real. The pace slows down dramatically. So there's that. This is what I would describe as an air check session. Any person who's ever worked in radio, when you have an air check session, it's horrible. That's when you sit in front of a program director and they tell you the problems with your show. This is like that on steroids, okay? And they don't pull any punches, so you can't. I mean, it's a roast and it's a critique. So they took a little time beating the shit out of me in that regard. And honestly, there's several things that I'm like, yeah, they're kind of fucking right on that. Carl was beating the shit out of me about how I go on and on and on and tell the same thing over and over again. This is how they started the show.
We'll be reviewing a podcast called the Eric Zane Show Podcast. This is a suggestion that came in from Garrett. We have both listened separately. We have not discussed it with each other beforehand. Let's get into it. This is a show hosted by Eric Zane and enjoyed by the Zaniacs out there. Eric Zane is an ex-radio guy.
I couldn't tell.
Yeah, I know. He used to be on this syndicated show called Free Beer and Hot Wings. Do you know why it's called that?
Probably from one of the many contests he hosts.
The other two hosts of the show, there were three guys, was Greg Free Beer Daniels and Chris Hot Wings Michaels.
Now, it was at this point that I'm like, holy shit, the first thing they're saying, insulting or attacking, is about not me. It's about Greg and Chris. So I'm like, oh, this is going to work out. This is awesome. I just said, Eric, don't read the comments. And Kenny says, yeah, when you read the comments, we all enjoy it. It should happen more on Patreon. Well, maybe there, Kenny, but I do have to keep it moving, and I always try to go back a little bit. But, the one thing I think it's tough to find the sweet spot where you have to keep the content moving. So I can still do that, but I can't be glued to it. When you're glued to the comments, it can be a little much. And I feel it. I mean, being that I'm the one talking, if I feel the momentum slow, that's not good. You definitely don't want that.
These guys fucking nicknames. Hey, what's up, Hot Wings? Oh, I have free beer. What's up? Hey, guys, college is over.
Yeah.
What are you doing? That's your nickname? Holy shit. The Z-Man was talking about that last week. Like, as soon as you get a radio gig, what do you want your nickname to be? I don't know. Could it be Greg?
Yeah.
Could I just be Greg?
I'm not called.
Okay, now I gotta say this too. I hate to interrupt all the damn time. But when I'm listening to my show, when I'm listening to my words on their show, it's embarrassing. It's fucking horrible. I feel so stupid. All right? When you all, and I'm looking at the comments, are listening to this show on my show, they sound fucking stupid. You're all saying it. I'm watching that. And I guess my point is, out of context is not pretty. It is never pretty. It's fucking horrible. But that's their show. That's how it is. They go and they rip shows. It's a roast.
Knew that. Free beer.
So he got fired in 2016 from Free Beer and Hot Wings. He went over to WBBL from there, and that's in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Yep. And then he was fired in January of 2019, and he's been doing this podcast ever since. And the thing that I notice about this show, it's a daily show. He puts out, it's over 2 hours long, Monday through Friday, and it's just him.
Yes.
And the thing that he does so masterfully is he can talk about nothing forever.
Yeah.
He goes through topics where he explains the same thing multiple ways so that it takes longer. He'll be talking about a subject, make a point, and then make that point again
Fuck.
and again.
Stop it.
And again.
No.
He thinks he's ranting. He pretends he's ranting.
Yeah.
But what he's really doing is filling time so they can get all of his ad reads. And God bless him, he's got a lot of ad reads.
He has the superpower of getting advertising on this podcast. I have no idea. The ads get in the way.
It's called work, Andy, you dumb fuck.
Hey,
Andy, when you charge $20 a spot,
I guess
you can get a lot of ads. He has
whatever. Fuck off.
advertisers sponsor everything on his show, including his dog Daisy.
The folks at A&D Cleaning sponsor Daisy, and I want you to call upon them if you're thinking about hiring a housekeeper, a person to clean your home.
A&D Cleaning?
Yeah.
This guy's getting the heavy hitters over there.
Yeah.
They're sponsoring Daisy, and then he's got sponsors for even the different streams that he's on.
In 8 a.m. time, where the show is streamed live on Facebook, brought to you by Irvine's Auto Repair Grand Rapids Hybrid. Of course, a Periscope video on Twitter brought to you by Blue Frost IT. And then, yes, on the almighty YouTube as well. You can follow the show on YouTube. Just search Eric Zane Show.
Oh, I guess he doesn't have a sponsor for YouTube.
Not true. I failed to mention it then. F45 Training Byron Center brings you the YouTube channel, the YouTube page, their stream. Thank you.
Well,
What's going on? Bill's
that-
dry cleaners didn't want to sign
I
on
know.
for your YouTube stream.
I had that A&D ad too. I called them to see how much it would cost to clean my house. They said $720 because you're in Rochester. We're in Grand Rapids.
That's the problem.
Yeah, after the lodging and the gas.
How much does clean centering John's house?
Yeah,
that's the
I
real
said
question.
You beat me to it, girl.
That's
That
what
was
I
my
want
show.
to know.
Okay, so, they talk for extended time about me and the show. They parked on a couple more segments where I talked about my time with Wally. Basically, they pick and choose whatever the hell they want from the body of work and have at it. They parked on a number of other things, and I don't want to sit here and play the whole show to you. I'd like you to listen to it yourself if you want. You'll hear what they say about the show. And, I honestly was expecting a little worse. I thought it was, as anxiety ridden as I am, and that's always terrible. I did not lose a wink of sleep over this. And, but during the week leading up to it, I did. There was no question. I was like, oh shit, man, fuck, here we go. I'm dead. And yeah, but it ended up not being nearly as bad as what I thought. So if you want to check that out, I will link it up if you want to listen to it, just to hear their perspective on the show. In fact, I've got another clip here, and I don't remember what this is. Hold on.
I teased that it's more than just the 2 hours because he does a day.
Okay, I'll get to that in a second. Carl, again, I don't know this guy's background. Really nice guy. I like him a lot. He's going to join me on the show tomorrow, like I said. But Carl, one of his big sticklers is he is so anti-radio. He acts like there are podcasting rules, okay? That if you break these podcasting rules, as he says, that you can't, that it's absolutely like a huge mistake. It's a big deal. He's constantly making that point. He makes it almost every show. And one of the things he says, which I completely disagree with him on, is he goes, you cannot tease things on a podcast. And first of all, he starts this out by actually saying the word tease, which is hilarious. One of the things I teased, you should never tease things on a podcast. Well, first of all, dum, and I wrote him an email about a couple of my points, and I called him that same thing. But first of all, this show, though it's recorded, it's also live. And when I do it live, I'm constantly trying to remind you that, hey, this is what I have coming up. I'm going to talk about this, and this. No big deal. You just throw it out there, and hopefully they'll come back and stick around. Because the longer they listen, you know what I do? I've talked about this. I take that number, the amount of time that they listen on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and then the download numbers, and I sell them. I fucking sell it. Would you look around, Carl? If you would fucking do that once, you would be able to reap the benefits. Sell that fucking show. Come on, that's the point. So yes, him saying, "Oh yeah, there's just the stupidest thing." You're absolutely wrong. You can't. You couldn't be more wrong, Carl. I love you, but you're terribly, terribly wrong about teasing shit on the show. He parks on a number of things that he hates about radio, which I had something, but I just forgot it, so I'll just go to the clip. This is Carl.
I teased that it's more than just the 2 hours because he does a daily show for 2 hours, and then he goes out and does a bonus show.
One more time for Patreon. Again, when this show ends, I do another podcast each and every day. All right? And that is called the Patreon bonus.
Holy fuck. How lonely of a person would you need to have 3 hours of Eric Zane in your life every single day?
He's talking about you, folks. Carl is talking about you.
I don't know. But
you're all lonely, apparently.
I would think that he would get tired of investing this much time in it every single day.
Because it's just one guy talking.
Okay, these guys don't realize, I don't know, maybe they do, maybe they don't, that this is actually what I do for a living. This is all, and they didn't mention that. They would just go ahead and just say, "Oh, can you believe this stupid shit? He's over there banging his head against the wall." It's like, dude, this is like my job. This is what I do.
Talking.
Right.
It's just one guy talking for hours a day.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is he gets into conversations about text threads that he's on with his family.
Yep.
Like, oh, okay. And then what did your brother say? Okay. Neat.
He also loves to bring up his dogs, like a sad old cat lady.
Yeah.
In clip 4.
He has to bring them up because they have a sponsor.
I don't get that.
Yeah.
Bruce, my Frenchie, O'Neill is over there out of sight. You can't really see O'Neill. But I know who wants to be able to see O'Neill.
Hi, O'Neill. I want to see O'Neill all the time.
Okay. Oh, hold on.
I teased that it was a day.
Yeah.
And brother say, okay.
Sad old cat lady.
Yeah.
In clip 4.
He has to bring
sight. You can't really see O'Neill. But I know who wants to be able to see O'Neill.
Hi.
Now, when you take my show and you lift out the most ridiculous parts that are nothing, seriously, just like 1 minute of me just going, of course it's going to sound stupid. So it stung a little bit, but that's what they do. I mean, it would be ridiculous if they did anything but that. This is a show to rip on shows. And it is an acquired taste, and I know that a lot of you are like, fuck, man, fuck those guys, fuck this shit. Just like they listening to me or anybody who listens to their show would listen to mine and not know what the fuck is going on, you're probably going to do the same thing. But I'm still really interested in Carl because I want to know what makes the guy tick, because how did the show get started? How did I get on his radar? And I doubt he will reveal that, because he keeps it really close to the vest. And I think, honestly, he's afraid about getting sued. I've actually heard him mention that more than once, because Carl is devastating to a lot of people, and they don't take it well. I do take it well. I roll with it. I don't have a problem with it. I laughed it off. And if any, I would rather just, the old, you can attract more flies with honey than you can vinegar. And fuck, I've got nothing to be bitter about because I've got you people. So, at the end of the day, it's fine. But so he's worried about that. But I am curious as to what makes him tick and how he got started in it and how it all happened. And then he focuses every single show. I mean, he'll park on a show like mine for like half of the show. And then he always turns to two or three different shows every single show. And it's a weekly show. Stuttering John from the Stern Show, Greg Hughes, who is Opie from the Opie and Anthony Show, and a guy who I don't know named Patrick Michael. And I don't know much about that dude at all. But, it's like every single day. And I don't know. I'm wondering where that comes from. Why? What's going on there that makes you want to do this? And if there's malice towards these people. So I actually appreciate them putting me on their show. It was a little weird at first, and I did have some anxiety about the whole damn thing. They were actually I think one of my questions is, you have a show like mine where you've got this grassroots vibe to it, and then they're like, well, I can't believe it. He's got a grassroots show. How does that work? It's like, well, it's just the way it is, I guess. And they talked about, they mentioned that. They mentioned my mental issues. They mentioned my mother having COVID. They mentioned that I'm giving a kidney. So it's weird because they mention all these things almost like they're serious, and then they go, yeah, you got to listen. But he's terrible, all fucking shit. And I'm like, oh God, Jesus. And I wonder if they ever like feel bad, I mean, about doing something like that, or the approach or the snarkiness of it. Probably not, I'm guessing. But I know for me, when I was in radio, whenever I would go and say something terrible about someone, I'd have a horrible time, because in the moment, it's great. You get this big rush of, oh, man, I got one over on somebody, or I'd say something awful. And as I've gotten older, it's kind of like, fuck, I can't believe what the fuck I did at times. And then when I would go home and think about it and time would pass, I would very often get fucking like, oh, shit, I shouldn't have said that. That was horrible. And then it's just gone, So I kind of want to dig down a little deeper on Carl and his show and talk to him about that. So I will have him on the show tomorrow at around 8:30. Who are these podcasts? Thank you to them for featuring your pal, Eric Zane. Okay, and then back to making money. Blue Frost IT, I've got a Tech Tuesday event coming up tomorrow at 7 p.m. with the world's biggest college football fan and tech nerd, Alan. You'll be able to see the notification. I'll send it out on Facebook, and I will post the podcast of my time with Alan from Blue Frost IT, the managed IT service provider for the Eric Zane Show podcast, 616-200-8550. If your company gets in the weeds with tech, you've got a boots-on-the-ground team right here in West Michigan. And they'll work remotely to get you back where you need to be. And if not, they'll head to your place and fix it as fast as possible. BlueFrostIT.com. Call them at 616-200-8550. A mortgage guy anywhere in the United States. Some of my businesses are only in West Michigan. I realize that. And then, of course, there's Van Dyke Mortgage, where anywhere in the United States you can get a mortgage. Okay? Call Mario at the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage, 231-332-6505. I guess those guys over at where these podcasts were calling the sponsors and asking them if they would come to Rochester, New York, and fix their furnace or clean their house. Okay, good one, guys. Van Dyke Mortgage, 231-332-6505. Reach out to Mario, whether it's your first-time mortgage or your 10th one, doesn't matter. They will help you get into a mortgage. And what Mario specializes in the most is the first-time mortgage person who's, young guy, young girl, million questions, no credit or terrible credit. How does that work? Don't worry. Mario can help you. 231-332-6505. Okay, I want to get into a little more about this whole plot to kidnap and kill the governor of Michigan. And my God, you got some real stupid idiots here in and around Michigan. I think there was one that was out of state, but this was just these guys are called the Wolverine Watchmen, which is kind of a cool name. Bummer if you're like a fan club for the University of Michigan, known as that. But these paramilitary organizations have been. I remember hearing about the Michigan militia back about the time the Oklahoma City bombing took place, where it kind of came up. It was like surrounding the story. I'm not saying they were like in bed with the people who blew up the building, but there was. I kept hearing about it, and I didn't know too much about it, but I guess these guys meet in like basements and talk about things in the event that they need to overthrow the government or some shit or whatever, defend the Constitution okay. So this all comes to us because of the mask mandates and the lockdown for Michigan. And I'm going to say something here that's going to make some of you guys and girls bristle. And you know where I stand politically. But I'm having a hard time thinking that the president's stance on how Michigan was being handled with the pandemic didn't have something to do with this. When the president of the United States says liberate Michigan in a tweet, now when that message gets to me, I don't feel like overthrowing the government. I don't feel like taking the governor prisoner and having a kangaroo trial and then killing her. But stupid fucks might. Okay? And I think there's something to that. Okay? And I hate that. And I kind of wish Trump would shut the fuck up about the whole thing. His response to this whole thing was the governor should say thank you to me because I fucking fixed it. And it's like, why can't you just for once keep your fucking mouth shut and be cool? Can't you just fucking relax ever? Why does this, on the day that these bad guys get busted, you have to take your thumb and stick it right in someone's eye? I'm telling you, this guy is getting in his own way when it comes to this election. If he doesn't win, I still think he's going to win, but if he doesn't win, it's his own fucking fault based on all of this shit that's happened recently. Just my 2 cents. Take it or leave it. I don't care. But as the story all unfolded here in West Michigan, the ringleader of these butt fucks was about 8 miles from here on Division at a business called the Vac Shack. On the Patreon, I called up the owner of the Vac Shack, left a message, and I was like, yeah, he's fucking probably, he's probably in bed with him. Not true at all. The guy who was letting the dude stay, the guy who owns the Vac Shack, is like really, really upset about this whole deal because he took the guy in, this moron who was in charge of the whole fucking thing. And this is the story as it all unfolded.
Men charged today are from West Michigan, one of them from Grand Rapids.
Adam Fox was apparently one of the ringleaders of this entire plot.
By the way, every one of the mugshots of these guys, I mean, they just look like such shitheads. I don't know. It's something about when you line up the charge against them and just their faces. You just look and go, you just look like a fuckhead. Seriously.
The FBI arrested him when they raided the Vac Shack on 36th and Division last night. Fox had been working and living there.
Target 8 investigator Susan Sample spoke with Fox's boss, a man who knows him well, Susan.
Inside this innocuous-looking vacuum shop, there is a basement, an unfinished basement, poorly lit. That is where federal agents say Adam Fox met at least once with militia members to plan. And last night, federal agents removed guns from his belongings here. We're told 2 assault rifles and a 9mm gun. The 37-year-old had been living in that basement, and his boss, the shop's owner, says Fox was increasingly mad at the government, mad at police, and afraid Democrats would take guns.
I tried to help this guy for all these years. And
Brian Titus is heartbroken. He's known Adam Fox since Fox was a child.
I feel so bad for this dude.
In Potterville, had given Fox jobs off and on at Titus's shop, Vac Shack. And when Fox came to him in need again.
Him and his girlfriend broke up in Kalamazoo. And he came here homeless. And he had the 2 dogs. So I let him stay here.
Fox was living in the shop's basement, accessed through a utility closet and door in the floor. He had a bedroom down there, and Titus says a growing anger against the government, the mask mandate.
More on edge.
That comes because he was living in the hidden basement. Yeah, that's what you do if you get in hidden hideout basement. You sit there and you plot against the government.
Because of the lockdown, he always says is against the Constitution for what's going on. Afraid they're going to start just getting your Second Amendment rights, taking your weapons away.
Titus says he knew nothing of Fox's plan to kidnap Michigan's governor, but he got scared when the 37-year-old Fox started buying more guns and ammo. Did you know that he had weapons in here?
That's when I told him he had to get out of here 1 November. But still, it's not illegal to own a weapon. And I didn't know he had a plan. That's the first I'd known of it.
Titus did know that Fox had formed a militia. These are pictures from Fox's Facebook page. All of it made Brian Titus nervous, he says, and now he knows he had good reason. And he's worried that his effort to help a friend in need could cost him his business.
Marine veteran, 12 years. This is my life. I'm 60 years old.
Oh, no.
And this is really affecting me because there's more people out there. It's not just him. They're everywhere. And I just want folks to know it's safe to come here. I've owned it for 10 years.
He's worried, too, about Adam Fox's 2 dogs.
Who gets vacuums repaired anyway? If they go south, you just throw them out these days and go get a new one.
One, an emotional support animal for Fox's anxiety, says Titus. Titus says that Adam Fox's mom plans to take one of the dogs, but they'll be looking for a home for the other one. Titus says that Adam Fox did not talk about race and white supremacy, but he did speak often of Boogaloo and had Hawaiian shirts that he wore. That's the trademark of the alt-right Boogaloo movement.
Yes.
Titus said Fox described Boogaloo as the battle that would break out when the government tries to take away people's guns. Live at 36th and Division, Susan Samples, back to you.
Wow. And Titus also said that he'd known Fox since he was a small child and that even his behavior over the past month or so was causing him great concern to the point where he didn't want him in the shop anymore.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, we already covered that,
he was
Brian.
certainly
How are you,
nervous
Eric?
and rattled about what has come about in the investigation. Susan, thank you.
Sounds like my show. He's repeating everything. So, yeah, they're, fuck, man. So you got this guy. Now, I was doing some research that this all started way back in June when the plot was being developed, and I'm fairly certain that, well, I know they had an informant, one or two, an FBI, like an undercover Donnie Brasco type of scenario. And that was the Johnny Depp movie where he played that character where he infiltrated the mob. And I'm pretty sure that that's how this was. They had FBI people that were in cahoots and working with the Wolverine Watchmen. And then when this started to happen, they started to pay attention and record things. So to building the case against these morons. So then when it came down, the big time to do it, execute it, and go arrest all these people was last week. Excuse me. So one of the meetings that when they were talking about at the Vac Shack down in that bunker basement, they described it as everybody shows up and the cell phones go into a like a basket with like, okay, make sure no one can record anything. But one of the informants had a wire. I mean, this is like awesome undercover work. And they were able to continue to do their job in formulating that plan to arrest these guys. That was why Whitmer had that, that fence erected around her residence, because she was in on it, obviously, being told that someone was looking to kill her. But holy shit. Whitmer, okay, she went on the offensive right away. She went after Trump, okay? The whole business about
stand back and stand by.
This all ties in. And, okay, if you're Trump, if I'm Trump, the one thing I would, I don't know, I just found it strange to me, and it's just my opinion. I find it strange that Trump goes after Whitmer. And she actually does say thank you in this, but she thanks the federal authorities for doing their job. But Trump is hell-bent on getting her to say thank you. So, he actually takes time to say, well, it wasn't for us, she should thank us. And then he doubles down and talks about Michigan needs to be open. And I get that. I mean, I wish it could be open too. I wish everything could be perfect. But Trump is really capitalizing on this whole business of appealing to these factions of people. And I think that normal, clear-thinking people don't take that to heart. But you get somebody who's a fucking maniac like this guy is. Adam Fox clearly needs medical attention. There's something wrong with that guy. He needs medication. He needs to be supervised. Here he is plotting against the government. When Trump says something like liberate Michigan, abso-fucking-lutely, that has something to do with it. I mean, you'd be a fool to think not. I was listening to one podcast, and I heard, and it was the day after it all happened, and I heard this one dipshit say, yeah, it's not Trump's fault. I mean, I doubt that there's no way Trump is actually, that he wants her dead. Yeah, you dumb fuck. Nobody said that. But him saying what he says appeals to the brains of these simple fucks, okay? And that's how it goes. This is what you get. Whitmer said this.
I also want to thank Attorney General Nessel and the U.S. Attorneys Burge and Schneider and their teams for pursuing criminal charges that hopefully will lead to convictions, bringing these sick and depraved men to justice.
What the fuck else do you want?
Just last week, the President of the United States stood before the American people and refused to condemn white supremacists and hate groups like these two Michigan militia groups. Stand back and stand by, he told them.
Stand by, stand back and stand by.
Hate groups heard the president's words not as a rebuke, but as a rallying cry.
Oh, fuck.
As a call to action.
I mean, can anybody talk me out of this? I mean, is that, do you not agree with that? I mean, how else could it be taken any other way?
When our leaders speak, their words matter. They carry weight. When our leaders meet with, encourage, or fraternize with domestic terrorists, they legitimize their actions, and they are complicit.
Oh, fuck.
When they stoke and contribute to hate speech, they are complicit. So let me say this loud and clear. Hatred, bigotry, and violence have no place in the great state of Michigan. If you break the law or conspire to commit heinous acts of violence against anyone, we will find you. We will hold you accountable, and we will bring you to justice.
All right. Say what you will about her, but she's a fucking pit bull. She will fight you. And, I side with her. I mean, who wouldn't after this horrible thing that happened? This is terrible. And anybody who tries to dance around it and tries to somehow position it on someone else's fault or her fault, you're fucking crazy. These are crazy fucks. What the president said was absolutely wrong. What he has said is absolutely wrong. And I see her point. How can you not? Anybody who doesn't, you're wrong. Sorry, but that's just the way it is. Love to hear from you. Eric at ericzaneshow.com. If you have any emails, questions, comments, or concerns, reach out anytime. I'll check those later on. Don't want to do it now. Don't want to slow down the momentum. Keep it moving. Boy, it was a rough scenario over the weekend. First of all, I had a great weekend. I was up north with loved ones and had a tremendous time. Oh, hey, look, only one mouse caught at the frickin' Fear Bunker North. Only one. So that means hopefully we are at the end of that saga. I'm hoping and praying. But I hear from my wife during the time that I'm there, and it's actually a phone call from the person that she's with. I know that she's going out with some lady friends. All right, do your thing. Great, have a good time. I get a phone call, and it's from one of the lady friends. I pick it up. Hello? And it's my wife, and she is just ruined. And I'm like, who died? What happened? Who's hurt? How many body parts are strewn across the roadway? What's going on? She's just having a terrible time. What could it possibly be? So she's going on a friend's boat. You know where this is going. She's calling from a different phone. She's completely ruined. She's going on a friend's boat. Her phone is at the bottom of Lake Michigan. She dropped her phone. Oh. No, fuck. I can understand how bad you would feel. Honestly, I mean, I can just imagine how awful that is. I'm attached to my phone like you wouldn't believe. But she is like 10 times worse. Okay? Plus, it's probably going through her brain about the cost of the phone, what is possibly going to happen. So she is just ruined. And it's in 10 feet of water. Now, the latest iPhone, you're safe when it falls in the water for a short amount of time. I think it goes to like 8-10 feet, and then there's a certain amount of time that passes. If it gets to a certain amount of time, water will then get into it, and then it's ruined. I don't know about you, if I could see it, or if I knew I could get to the bottom of where they were, I would dive in after it. Maybe. It depends on how murky the water is, because if it goes straight down, I'd be a little concerned about how deep it was. You know, if I can't see the bottom, I would be worried about doing this, but she dropped her fucking phone. It's like, oh no, man. Now, luckily, your old pal Eric Zane bought the insurance policy. $14 a month. Now, the insurance policy isn't the greatest. I mean, the phone is over $1,000. And, there's a $200 deductible. Okay. I mean, that's better. I mean, that's okay. I mean, at the end of the day, what are you're out $200. No big deal. It's not that big of a hit. It's a hell of a lot. It could be a hell of a lot worse, but she is just sick. She wants to talk to AT&T right then and there. So she sets everything aside. All they want to do is have a good time on this friend's boat. She's like, nope, I got to take care of this now. The phone is such a big deal in her life. So there's like a code you need. I have it. And so she gets it from me, calls there, and they check the claim. And then they text me and say, you've got your new phone on the way. So I text her. I go, look, it's coming. All you got to do is wait. Early next week, you'll have the new phone, and it's all forgotten. No. This thing, the fact that she lost it, she is so attached to the phone that it is having an adverse effect on her. And like I said in the open, that it's like she stopped drugs. And you've heard people say that being away from your phone has that type of impact because of, I guess, when you're using your phone, there is something to do with feedback and serotonin levels or something like that, that what you see on your phone might make you feel good. It's like an addiction. It is an addiction. And I'm watching it manifest. She's going through the withdrawals, because I get home yesterday and she is like just on edge. Like, you wouldn't believe it. Like, I haven't ever seen her act this way. She goes, I'm having severe anxiety. I go, yeah, it's the phone. She goes, no, it's not. It's not the phone. I'm just having a bad day. I go, okay. Now, added to that was this. I walk into the house, and I get the back half of the day going yesterday after I get home from being up north without her. And I walk in, and I, for some reason, getting back to work, I check the bank account. And I noticed that I had in my checking account $100. Now, you might be like, well, that's fucking everybody, Zane. I mean, but no, I know I have more money in there. And I see on the thing, $1,500 funds transfer. And I'm like, well, there's all my fucking money. Who transferred $1,500 out of my account? I know I didn't do that. And I say, Dinah, can I see you for a minute? And she comes walking in, and I go, so what is this? Do you know what this is? She goes, oh my God. And I go, what? What's going on? This is so fucked. Her brother, Kevin, has 2 accounts. I know this is long and boring, but stick with me. The one account was Kevin and his now deceased brother. And the new account, which is Diana and Kevin. We got to be on it, because in case something happens to Kevin one day, his funds aren't locked up. The new account needs money in it because it started bouncing shit. So we're going to transfer $1,500 from his old account into his new account, right? How the fuck the bank took it out of my account is a mystery. But all I know is they did. So I'm like, what's up? So I'm freaking out, and I'm looking at her with stink eye like it's her fault. And she's like, it's not my fault. I didn't do anything. So, of course, I don't believe her, and I still think that she did. But I'm like, well, I don't give a shit. Just fucking put it back. And then you guys do what you need to do. Bank's not open now, obviously, Sunday at 7 p.m., and today is Columbus Day or some shit, some holiday we shouldn't be fucking celebrating in the first place. And so the banks are closed today. So I'm like, what the fuck? I got $100 in there for 2 days. Is ridiculous. So that really amped it up even more. But it's going to work out. No big deal. So sure, I was annoyed, but she's acting like I just took away her crack cocaine even more so. Oh my God, was she pissed. So this all is kind of like building up on her. And I'm like, it's the phone. It's not the phone. It's the phone. It's because you dropped your phone in the water. I go, well, you got to relax. The phone's coming. Jesus. Man. So, all right, that's that. Hopefully, and even today, I woke up this morning, I'm walking around the house, and she's like looking at me like I'm a fucking criminal. Shit. Subscribe, rate, and review this podcast. I would love that wherever you listen to podcasts on, the audio podcast. If you could throw some stars at me that you think I deserve and leave me a review, I would appreciate it. I work really damn hard at this podcast. So please subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. I have a company called StellaFly on board with the show that wants you to be able to market your business appropriately through social media. Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram. If you're busy trying to run your business and your wife's like, oh, hey, we got to put the local ad on Facebook. What are you doing? You're like, I can't. I'm making the pizza. Shit. StellaFly does all that for your business. If you need more information about what they do and how they do it, StellaFly.com. S as in Sam, TELLA fly. StellaFly.com. Social media marketing for you. Okay, Horizon Hydroponics, HORIZEN Hydroponics. Online at horizonhydroponics.com. Everything you need to grow stuff. I'm talking cannabis here. Some of you actually like go in there and like, hey, I want to grow tomatoes. If that's your thing, absolutely. And, during the summer, of course, you're growing outdoors. And then the summer ends, you still want to grow more cannabis, you do it indoors. And, for some of you, that's a great hobby. And here in Michigan, my God, this is the greenest state in the whole union with the laws changing. Call upon Horizon Hydroponics for all of the equipment that you might need. Grow tents, lights, air scrubbers, all that stuff. Horizon Hydroponics. You can buy it online anywhere in the United States. Orders $250 and more, you get free shipping. And use the coupon code ZaneShow at checkout. Save 10%. HorizonHydroponics.com. They are amazing. Okay. Couple things on sports that were interesting since we last met. Let's start with this moment. During the Dallas Cowboys game last night, a new addition to the Muppety Floppity Flippity Crackety Break 5.
13. Now going to keep it. Prescott breaks the tackle. Picks up
breaks a tackle and breaks an ankle.
Prescott breaks the tackle. He picks up a total of 9 more. Oh no!
That's Romo. Okay, now Romo has now seen what America has seen. His foot is going so away that it's not supposed to go. I mean, we are. I don't know, man. It's just hideous. It's completely sideways. It looks fake. The bone is popping out of the skin, and at the ankle. So a compound fracture, dislocation, the whole deal. Now I referenced Rick Pitino from that deal. What the fuck team was he coaching? Louisville. when was it Kevin Ware? Is that the guy's name? Whose leg broke in half, and the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. I almost threw up. This isn't. That is to me the worst. I mean, there have been several ones you could categorize as the worst, but I think Ware's is probably the worst because you could actually. Well, I don't want to say it, but this one was pretty bad. And Dak Prescott, he's he made news back in September because all that guy did was say, I struggled with some mental illness and some depression after my mom passed away. Well, my brother, he couldn't deal and he killed himself, so I was super depressed. And then that fucking asshole Skip Bayless took a run at Dak Prescott for some reason over that. We talked about that quite a bit on the show, how horrible that was. Well, Prescott, all he did was kind of let it roll off his back, and here he is having a great year for the Cowboys, son of a bitch. And then he breaks it, and this guy, he comes unglued, man. I mean, he is. I find it remarkable that your leg can break in such a horrific way, and your body floods your system with chemicals so that you can't feel it. Okay, the shock, and I'm sure he was in some shock, is horrible. And he's holding the foot up, the ankle, and he's pointing at it, and they come running out on the field. And then Jim Nantz is like, I hope it's just a cramp.
Oh, no. You almost got to hope it's a cramp, don't you, if you're a Cowboy fan right there?
Romo. No, it's not a fucking cramp. It's sideways. Are you crazy?
Oh, that does not look good, Jim. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, you can just see that at the bottom. Just,
Oh.
Oh. Yeah, one of those you don't want to see twice.
Yeah, we're going to show you 10 times.
Look at the love for him.
Skip Bayless is probably going to tweet, he's showing weakness. The team, he's going to lose the team because he's upset. Prescott started to cry a little bit. He was bummed out, but man, I felt for that dude. That was terrible. I felt really bad for him. I was pulling for him too, and I am pulling for him. We'll continue to do that. My God, he's a good guy. Dak Prescott's a winner.
I think you can tell by his face, he knows that it's not something small.
Oh, fuck. I love how it's almost like he's aware it's over, obviously, because his foot's completely sideways, and the other players are on both teams are like both the Giants and the Cowboys. Like, man, hang in there. It's just tough. He's gonna have to. You know what? It's probably at this point, if it's gonna happen to you at one point, and it could happen more than one point. It's this year. Fuck this year. This year is the absolute worst. There he goes. He's on the cart, taking him off. Plenty of fans there. The Cowboys.
There's never missed a start, Jim, his entire career.
I like Romo. He's really good. But they talk about how he hasn't missed a start in his career, and then the fans that are there. Texas are like, fucking pack the stadium. We don't care. And just cheering that guy on, man. Ugly son of a bitch. He went into surgery last night. I guess it went as well as it can. So there you go, Dak Prescott. What a bummer. And I think what is Andy fucking Dalton came in? Remember Andy Dalton, the old Cincinnati Bengals, fire red hair. Another one of the Bengals picks that went nowhere. This son of a bitch comes in and drops one from the heavens. A crazy accurate pass. And I think the Cowboys ended up winning that game. I'm probably getting that wrong. All right. NBA Finals, the Lakers win. Okay. Now, I don't know about you, but when it comes to sports this year, outside of football, I don't give a shit about anything. Okay. It's just fucked. I didn't really pay attention to hockey in any way, shape, or form. I haven't been paying attention to baseball. I don't know shit about what's going on. It's just fucked. It's all just a 2020 thing. My mind has traveled to other things that I need to be interested somehow, I guess. And I sure as shit am not going to be interested in what's going on in the NBA Finals. But I still follow it to some degree because, I mean, I knew that it was the Lakers in Miami. And I know that the Lakers won a game before this last one. But this one, the Lakers just beat the shit out of Miami. And then that's it. They win big. And it's the first time in 10 years that the Lakers have had this type of success. And LeBron James, of course, he's like, here you go, man. This is what I wanted. And here's the thing about LeBron. No matter how hard he tries to not be a douchebag, he's a douchebag. I pay attention to him when he speaks. And he's so not humble. He's so all about him. In the scope of this fucking speech courtside, when he's talking, right after they win the NBA title, he not only once, but twice, it's all about LeBron. He starts his comments talking about what he said he was going to do to bring this team to prominence. I am going to do this. And then he talks nicely about a bunch of people, and then he ends it with another caveat about him. So in this, however long this clip is of LeBron, he's talking about himself at the beginning of it and the end of it, and that's really the only thing this fucker wants to talk about. And then he throws in some other nice things about other people just to try to make it less obvious. But I'm not fooled. I've never really liked this fucker ever since that whole horseshit incident when he went to Miami. And then little things have cropped up along the way that have made me think he's a fucking phony. The whole business about him not being willing to indict China for, basically Nike and the fucking sweatshops that they run, and how the NBA is in bed with China. We talked about this just a week or so ago about those billboards that were in front of the bubble. So there's a lot of drama involved with that. He's just kind of an asshole. I'm not buying this LeBron being a good guy in any way, shape, or form. And then you have the I'll just play the clip. This is LeBron talking after the NBA Finals.
Means a lot. It means a lot to represent this franchise.
Hold on, I remember now. When he didn't win the NBA's MVP award, he's won several of these. He didn't win it this year. And he goes on Twitter and talks about how he should have won it. Who the fuck does that? A humble athlete just says, well, congrats to the other guy. I hope to get him next year. You can't win them all, LeBron.
Means a lot. It means a lot to represent this franchise. Jeannie, I told Jeannie when I came here that I was going to put this franchise back in the position where it belongs.
I was going to put this franchise back into the position it belongs. Meanwhile, all of his teammates are looking at him like, yeah, did we not want to do that? Is that what you're saying? I mean, that's the way I would take it, but I can't stand LeBron.
Her late great father did it for so many years, and she just, took it on after that. And for me to be a part of such a historical franchise it's an unbelievable feeling, not only for myself, but for my teammates,
he mentioned his teammates.
Organization, for the coaches, for the trainers, everybody that's here. We just want our respect. Rob wants his respect. Coach Vogel wants his respect. Our organization want their respect. Laker Nation want their respect.
Is that what this is about?
And I want my damn respect, too.
Oh, what an asshole.
Want their respect.
Remember this asshole just said, I want my damn respect, too.
And I want my damn respect, too.
Yeah, let's kiss his ass. Fuck you, LeBron.
Well, LeBron, I'm going to tell you.
You're an asshole.
MVPs.
Well, I mean, seriously. That was so self-indulgent. It's all I, me, that. I mean, most people, when they win the NBA Finals, wouldn't it be nice to have this thought pattern? Man, we worked our asses off, and look at this. We're going to have a party. We're going to have such a great time. Thank you to all of you for coming out and supporting the team. This is a great bunch, you guys, man, coming together like this from all these, because the NBA, they just basically pick whoever they want and make a team every year. It's not like it's fucking built from the ground up. It's all horse shit how they build these teams anyway. I'm old school. I don't like the way sports are these days with you want parts, you just go spend money on it. There you go. You get your team. It's all bullshit. So I don't know. I don't like him. I never have. And every time he speaks to me, he makes an asshole out of himself. Okay, he's a selfish idiot. Tom Brady. Oh man, this is hope for the fuck ups of the world, to see someone as perfect as Tom Brady fuck up the way he did the other night, Thursday Night Football against the Bears. The fucking Bears go down and they manage to kick a field goal. They're up by a couple of points. And so you got Tom Brady with like a minute and a half left for the Buccaneers. No big deal, man. You know, everybody's waiting for what is going to happen, the inevitable. He's going to march him down the field. They're going to kick a field goal. And the Buccaneers are going to win the game. Most people probably saw that coming. And right away, Brady goes to work. First down. He throws and he gets a first down. Dude, right on the sidelines, catches the ball. Evans goes out of bounds. Holy shit, clock stops. 12 yards, first down. Move the chains. Here we go. Tom Brady's in business. Okay, then he continues on. Second down, or first down. He misses. No dice. Second down. No, misses. Third down. Holy shit. Third down. No way. Fourth down. Throws a pass, incomplete. That's it. Game over. Everybody starts celebrating. The Buccaneers are walking off the field. The announcers are like, oh, my gosh, Tom Brady cannot get it done, and the Chicago Bears are going to win. Oh, my God, the Bears moved to 4-1 on the year. A battle of 2 3-1 teams. What unbelievable. And Brady is like, hey, where's everybody going? What? Wait, what? And he's holding up 4 fingers, and he's saying it's fourth down. This fucker thinks that he's got one more play. Oh, my God. How? How can a guy who's had the – doesn't he have like 35 Super Bowls? I mean, seriously, every time the guy is – I mean, he's – how in the world could someone like Tom Brady forget what down it was? I want to know how that happened. And if you're Tom Brady and you're the coach of the Buccaneers, I don't know who the fuck he is. I mean, something needs to be explained here. Brady goes to the sidelines, and oftentimes you'll see him with one of those what do you call it, like an iPad or a Microsoft Surface or whatever, and he's looking at, and he's got his head down. He's like, son of a bitch, I just got to keep my head down and make it look like I'm reviewing the plays or something like that. How the fuck did that happen? He went through the whole thing. It was like, Jesus. And then he takes the Microsoft Surface and he throws the fucking thing, and everything. Oh, fuck, there you go. So I guess he's not perfect. Tom Brady did not even know what down it was. Holy crap. Happens to the best of us. Okay? Take that with you today. If you fuck something up at work, it happens to the best. It happened to Tom Brady. Not a big deal. Just a loss. Hey, I do cameos. I'm waiting for the notifications coming in from Andy and Carl. They talked about, in fact, they said to their audience, hey, hire Eric Zane on a cameo. He needs the cash. Thank you very much for that. Cameo.com/Eric Zane. I do cameos. It costs $15, and they are a lot of fun. Okay. TC Paintball. They even mentioned the paintball event. Paintball War number 10. They're awesome. Thank you. We haven't yet planned our next paintball event, but when we do, you'll be the first to know. TC Paintball is where you do it. Book a party at TC Paintball, online at tcpaintballgr.com. Got a workout facility in Michigan, F45 Byron Center. I'm sorry, F45training.com/Byron Center is their website. Reach out to them and click right where it says free trial. Okay, if you're in and around the community of Byron Center, think about engaging the folks over at F45 Training. You have a group training session on the hour every day with a personal touch. Man, I hear from more and more people. I just talked to a friend the other day who's like, man, I'm really struggling on the weight and just haven't been doing anything. Well, fucking get up and move, for God's sake. If this sounds good to you, F45training.com/Byron Center. They are amazing. You can try it for a week free. And I will see you at F45 Byron Center. And finally, for this batch of spots, again, I'm doing this to make money. You realize that this is my job, you dum-dum. Kent County Health Department online at Kent County Health Department. AccessKent.com/health. 616-632-7100 is their number. And, man, they got 4 COVID testing stations throughout the county. And you can reach out to them for any of the vaccinations that your kids may need. Please do not forget your flu shot. I was with a loved one this week, and he said, no, I don't do flu shots. I'm like, well, why not? Do you want to get the flu? I just don't like weird things in my body. It's like, what the fuck do I have to do to get this through to you? Okay, it's fine. This is not like some random thing they're throwing in your body, for God's sake. And no, the flu shot does not give you the flu. That is a myth. Anyone who tells you that is a fucking moron. Kent County Health Department, you can get all these vaccinations free if you qualify. Reach out, accesskent.org/health. Yesterday, I was reading the story about this dude named Nathan Apodaca. Who the fuck is that? Yeah, exactly. So this guy's driving to work in his car. It's got 300,000 miles on it in the middle of Idaho. He's going to work at a potato factory. I don't know what the fuck your job is at the potato factory. Count potatoes? I have no idea. But this is his job. Every day he works there. And the truck breaks down. So he's running late. And he grabs his breakfast, which is a bottle of Ocean Spray cranberry juice. And he has a longboard in the truck. This is like a 37-year-old dude. Really, he lives very humbly and meagerly. Doesn't have hardly any money. Fuck, his residence doesn't even have running water. He lives in this old beat-up trailer. It's like Fear Bunker North. Hopefully he doesn't have mice in it. So he's got skills on the longboard enough so that he's using the longboard and going down a hill, and he busts out his phone and he records a TikTok video. And when he publishes it, the song "Dreams" by Fleetwood Mac is playing. And he actually had enough presence of mind to mouth the words while he was on the longboard going down the hill on the video. So he adds the music to it. So it's just hilarious to see this dude very casually, just from a selfie perspective, going down the street with that song playing. And he looks real smooth at it, and he looks like he knows what he's doing. He even takes a swig of the Ocean Spray cranberry juice or whatever the hell whatever the hell it is. And that's it. He publishes this thing, and it goes crazy. And because of just that video, his life is changing like you wouldn't believe. I just fucking love these stories, and it's a perfect example of you never know when the script is going to be flipped. Someone who is at the bottom of the heap one day is going to be at the very top of the heap in an instant. He's been making TikTok videos for some time, but I mean, you've never heard of him. I had never heard of him. It's just a dude make TikTok videos because he thinks it's fun. This thing took off, and that's all the video is him going down, mouthing the words to Dreams by Fleetwood Mac. And I'm going to go over what has happened to this guy since then. First of all, in the article from NPR, they talk about how his vehicle has logged 320,000 miles, and they wrote it as one morning last month, it couldn't go a mile more. Breaks down in Idaho Falls, and gets does what he takes off. He says, I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to sit here and wait for nobody to pull some jumper cables. I'm not going to flag anyone down. So I just went to work. Because of the video, the story took on a new life. The internet fame for what he is experiencing is rare, because they talk about how many people have been watching this. In its first hour, the video gathered 100,000 views. It now, and this is an article from yesterday, has 35 million views. Now, again, he hasn't had to do anything but longboard to work, post the video, and that's it. And because of that, people have been coming out of the woodwork to help this guy now. He says, I almost didn't post it, but I was like, let's post it and see what it does within an hour, Apodaca said. So there you go. As I said, 35 million. It was crowned with meme status. According to figures from TikTok, 134,000 tribute videos have been made, including one by Mick Fleetwood himself from Fleetwood Mac. And with those, that has totaled almost 500 million views. The Lieutenant Governor of Montana, Mike Cooney, did a tribute, as did Jimmy Fallon and endless others. As I talked about, Mick Fleetwood. Fleetwood says it was spontaneous, it was heartfelt, it was fun, and God knows we need some of that right now, Fleetwood told NPR from his home in Maui, Hawaii. To some extent, it was a lovely accident, added Mick Fleetwood. It could have been any song, but it was ours. For us in Fleetwood Mac, the inspiring thing was that it was just so off the wall. Did we expect it? No. Are we happy and delighted? Absolutely. And then these two met for a video chat. And because what happened to Fleetwood Mac is the downloads of the song Dreams, went like incredibly high. And that song actually recharted. I talked about why did it resonate so much now? Who knows, but he thinks it has something to do with the moment of pure delight that he captured, giving everyone a brief escape from turbulent times. I don't know, maybe. Ocean Spray bought him a new truck. Okay, this is where it just gets ridiculous. So they're like, hey, man, and that's the least they could do, right? Here he is drinking their shit, and they buy him a truck. They bought him a new truck in the appropriate color of cranberry red. It was delivered to him packed full of jugs of the brand's juice. Donations have poured in. He says he's putting them towards a down payment of a home. It couldn't happen to a dude who needs it more. He lives in an old trailer in Idaho Falls. No running water to shower or use a bathroom. He goes to his brother's house nearby to go to the bathroom. My God. He still has his job at the potato warehouse. There is, however, something new in his life. A publicist. Unsure how enduring his moment in the TikTok limelight will be, he's taken a couple of weeks off to see. This is the type of thing that will kill a guy. Because, let's be honest here. He probably got into a spot where he's, I hate to be cruel here, but he's living in a trailer with no running water. I think if we were to look at the backstory of this poor guy, there's probably something terrible that's happened to him, maybe at his own undoing. And what I'm fearful for is if all of this fame comes his way, he ends up losing his fucking mind like people tend to do when you give them the world. And then, all of a sudden he shoots up a bank or something like that. Probably not. That was terrible. He says, I'm just taking a week or two off. I told my boss I'll probably be back sooner. From what I read, there was like $20,000 that made his way right to him, and he helped his family out with the money. And they talk about how rare of a find this is. The publicist is about his popularity. This is like you remember that guy, Double Rainbow guy, Bear. They made like a Super Bowl video out of that guy. Now, I'm not saying this guy's going to be wealthy for the rest of his life, but you got to strike while the iron is hot. He did something that just caught on in a big way, and now he's turned it around. So good for that guy. I'll link it up in the show notes for you to check that out. And then off you go. You can see that video of this guy. It is pretty cool. It's just a dude on a longboard, from his perspective, drinking the ocean spray. So very fun. You can also find it at inthenewsofericzanetshow.com. Okay, it's not going to be long till we're freezing our asses off here in Michigan. Don't forget to call A&E Heating and Cooling. I think freaking Andy from Who Are These Podcasts did. 616-516-8579. Joe will not go to Rochester, New York and install your furnace. Okay? But in West Michigan, he wants to tune up yours for $79. Reach out to him. Thank you, Joe Martinez. 616-516-8579 or online at aeheatingcooling.net. Got an RV dealer, Terrytown RV? Yeah, I know. The season's ending. Perfect time to buy. Head over to Terrytown RV on Division between 68th and 76th Street and pick one out, or do it online at terrytownrv.com. They are amazing. The biggest in Michigan, Indiana, Wisconsin, Minnesota. The biggest. An indoor showroom with 200 units waiting for you to check out. terrytownrv.com. Please mention the Eric Zane Show. And last, but certainly not least, we have another get-together coming up at Great Lakes Winery, Brewery, Distillery in Holland, Michigan. I will see you on East Lakebrook Boulevard, just west of US 31, across from the luxurious Windmill Estates Mobile Home Park on Friday the 23rd. Okay? We will start at 7 p.m. at Great Lakes, and I will see you there. This is not an official Great Lakes event. All they're doing is treating us like customers that come into that place, wearing the masks, being socially distant. I will see you on Friday the 23rd. That is a week from Friday, okay? Great Lakes Winery, Brewery, Distillery. Pick up a bottle of wine, a growler of beer, or a fifth, I guess? No, maybe a pint of grappa. What is that? Don't ask. Look it up on your own. Italians do it, okay? It has to do with grape skins and fermentation. Thank you, Great Lakes. Got some fights I need you to check out. I'll link them up. I'll put them out in the news. The first one is just ridiculous. You got these neighbors, and they're fighting, and the guy who instigates it is the dude who parks his big, gigantic truck right in front of the neighbor's house. Not only in front of the neighbor's house, but like on his lawn. So the neighbor's like, dude, I've asked you many times to move the fucking truck. Will you move the truck? And the dude who owns the truck, he gets bent out of shape, and now he wants to fight. So he's really barrel-chested and fat. He's the type of guy who, because he's so fat, he looks a little tippy, like he'd be easy to knock over. And he's still goes after the guy who's complaining for him to move his truck, and he wants to fight. And the neighbor is like, dude, who's much smaller. But the neighbor, it doesn't take much for him to fucking knock the guy out. But between the two, some of the wimpiest punches I've ever seen. This is what I look like when I fight. Okay, this would be me and Chad Zumach fighting. This clip right here, and so there they are doing their thing, and then the wife of the guy who's doing the complaining saying, "Hey, do you mind moving your truck?" She's laughing at this fat ass because the fat guy falls over and ends up losing the fight. Listen to this.
Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. I said I'm gonna move that motherfucking truck, you fuck. I said I'm gonna fucking move it right now. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go, motherfuckers. Let's fucking kill you. What? That's fucking wreck your fucking life.
We're doing fucking punch like a pussy. Look at you.
Okay, now if I'm the dude and I go pick a fight, and some lady says you punch like a fucking pussy, look at you, I'd like, oh, you're right, I do, and I would walk away all heartbroken and completely dejected.
We're doing fucking punch like a pussy. Look at you.
You punch like a pussy? Look at you.
I said I was gonna fucking move it. I said I was gonna fucking move it. Hey, well, get out of my fucking problem. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you, motherfucker.
They're just saying fuck you to each other. They're not even punching each other anymore. They're just saying fuck you.
I said I'm gonna fuck you, motherfucker. You fuck.
All right. Now chick who's chirping laughs at fat ass when he falls over. So she's already said he probably fell because the way she's insulted him. Says that he punches like a fucking pussy and then laughs in his face when he falls over. And the guy doesn't get up. He's hurt. And so the little dude starts punching him repeatedly in the face. And then the fat ass ends up not saying another word. He gets up and moves the truck.
Fucking move it! Why do we have to keep having problems with you over and over again? Do you think this is okay to park it there? Look how this is parked. All we did is knock on the door and ask him to move.
I knocked on your door to fucking move. That's it. That's all I said. You're on my property. Get off of it. I don't know why we have so many goddamn problems with you. Fucking piece of shit. You want me to just call the cops?
Yeah, you should. I have it on here. He hit you first.
Yeah, he did. Oh my God! All right, you'll be able to see that. And then there's this one, and I saved this one for last because there's no dialogue here. It's just reaction. This is like one of those World Star Hip Hop or WorldStar.com. What the fuck is the page where the black people beat each other up all the time? That one. Well, that fucking thing is great, and I love it so much. And in this one, you got all these people are at this restaurant, and this little shit, like littler than me, is dogging and harassing and being mean to the employees. Now, how often have we heard about this where people are just giving shit to the people that work there? Maybe it's COVID related. Maybe it's because they're bitching about the masks. I don't know. Who knows? But this little fucker is giving shit to someone who works at the restaurant. And the guy who comes out of the restaurant appears to be like a guy who works in the kitchen. He's got the white deal, the white long sleeve thing that maybe like a chef would wear. And he's big, really strong. And I don't know if you've ever seen the viral video called Casey the Punisher. Remember the one about the little shit school kid in England somewhere who was bullying the big kid? And the little one doesn't realize how much stronger the big kid is and what he could do to him if he gets his hands on him. And then Casey the Punisher picks the kid up like the Incredible Hulk, picking up Loki and slams him to the ground. That's what this is, except it's black dudes. So this giant black guy who's as big as Bob Sapp comes rushing in and grabs this little Flavor Flav size fucking Cat Williams motherfucker by the shirt and the neck. And first he rams his head on the ground, and then the most ridiculous choke slam I have ever seen in my entire life. It was so much. It was so easy for Bob Sapp's brother to do this that it looked magical. It looked fake, and he slammed his body down so hard. I wouldn't be surprised if this guy is dead. And all these crazy sons of bitches that are shooting the video are like, oh, and the reaction is all you need to know. That's when the big moment happens, and you must see this. Out of all the things I've talked about that you must check out, this is the one. It's titled Choke Slam. All right, there's Flavor Flav giving shit to Bob Sapp. You can't see Bob Sapp at this point. And then he rushes in.
Yo, chill. Oh my God! Bro, you all right?
No, he ain't all right, and he can't hear you anymore. That's so bad. Dak Prescott to say, man, that's the worst thing I've seen in the last 24 hours. Holy fuck, that is terrible. My God, Jesus. All right, check that out, folks. That's the fight videos. That's the show for the day. I'll be on Patreon a little bit later on. Thanks for checking this one out. I appreciate you. As always, send me an email, eric@ericzaneshow.com. All right. Thanks again, folks. Talk to you down the road.